This is going to be a really interesting case study. So we have two brilliant speakers. So let me introduce you to Isabelle Mansell and then also Marie-Julie Lemaitre from Thales. Welcome, and remember online, if you've got any questions, just pop them into the app and we'll hopefully have time for questions at the end. Thank you.
Hello everybody, we are glad to be here together in order to present what we did regarding the Generative AI initiative within Thales. So a quick word regarding Thales. For those who doesn't know the company. So we are a group, a worldwide group of 80,000, thank you, 80,000 employees with a large coverage of 68 countries. And we are specialized in cybersecurity, defense, and aerospace. And we address civilian and defense, but we will say something else regarding the security constraint, the associate security constraint. Just a quick word around the digital factory. I'm working at the digital factory, and Isabelle is working in a learning function. So we built a very close partnership in order to empower every Thales employee thanks to the Gen AI. Our mantra is really to unleash creativity and maximize human potential through our generative AI solutions. So in order to be very concrete, we start this journey in end of August. And we decided to deep dive into the company complexity by identifying use cases through all the job function. We defined three kinds of use cases. The first one is business-oriented in order to support all the job function. The field-oriented use cases and the transversal use cases with the HR and learning partner. So one of our major prerequisites at Thales is the data sensitivity and all the security constraints regarding the fact that we are working closely with government, defense, all the defense area. How do we support? We decided to split the initiative in four streams. The first one is the acculturation one, in order to allow people to understand what are the risks, the gain, what is the impact on their daily job. The second one is training, regarding the fact that, okay, I'm a user, and how can I enhance and improve the tools that I'm working with. So, for example, we can train people on advanced practices on prompt engineering. The third one is the business acceleration with the use cases framing, and the last stream is regarding the implementation of those use cases in order to improve the operational workflows of people. In order to do that, we start from general purpose to more sensitive and specific needs with different building blocks. You all know the Thales GPT. So we use Azure OpenAI in order to do that and provide a very secure and reliable web chat with Thales GPT, not so much original. This tool is really here to help all the employees of the group. We've got another focus on the engineering function with a code assistant, and one of our building blocks, and Isabelle will give a word and explain how we work together with the knowledge management building blocks based on retrieve augmented generation capabilities and improve all the domain information access. And after that, we've got an API in order to serve all the specific needs. So I'm glad to be here with Isabelle, who will explain how we work all together.
Thank you, Marie-Julie. So you may wonder why I've chosen pop art in order to illustrate my presentation. So do you have any idea why? The pop art? No clue? So pop art was created in the 50s, as far as I know, and their objective was to challenge the mass consumer culture. And I strongly believe that what we plan to do with the generative AI applied to learning is something similar. We would like to stop and to break out from the traditional training approach, and we would like to create a vibrant, engaging, and tailor-made learning experience. So that's pretty comparable.
Isabelle, why did you choose Gen AI and do a major asset in your strategy?
Yes, so the reason why we made the decision to introduce these generative AI technologies to learning is the fact that recently Thales company has reviewed its strategy. And we are very lucky because learning is at the heart of this strategy. We would like to become a learning company. And the reason is somewhere obvious. We are a high-tech company, so skills are changing super fast. So there is a high risk of obsolescence, and we need to find a way to develop continuously skills of the 85,000 employees in the group. We plan to recruit a lot of people because by 2030 we have to recruit more than 100,000 employees. So you can imagine that to address successfully our delivery, we need to shorten the learning curve. Oops.
Sorry.
That's not the... Thank you. And last but not the least, that's very important to be able to attract and retain talent within the company. So to do so, we think that generative AI can be or should be a game changer. And the reason why, and definitely support this objective and move to become a learning company. So for mainly three reasons. The first one is the E of experience, because if we introduce generative AI, and we will explain how and why, it might definitely improve the learning experience and make it easier for the employees. The second one is the E of efficiency, because we plan to reduce, to decrease the time to learn and the time to design. That's something we've experienced already. And the last one, which is the ecosystem. If you would like to become a learning company, you need somewhere to develop more and more the peers learning. And the ability to each of the employees to share what they know with the others. And to do so, you need to find ways, tools, and methodology. And that's something we also think that generative AI can help us to do.
Okay, you talk about vision, strategy, but how do you proceed to identify and prioritize those use cases?
Yes, so what we've done, and I've heard a lot about user experience and taking into account the end user's perspective. That's exactly what we've done. We strongly believe in the user experience and the end user centricity. So we've done a couple of users research. That's something we do, generally speaking. And we started with the pain points, expectations, experience expressed by the end users. So when I speak about end users, I'm referring to the employees themselves, but also I'm referring to the learning and development community, because when we speak about learning, we need to get them on board. So we did this users research, and we identified the top 3 pain points and expectations that we could address, we think we could address with generative AI. So you've got a couple of examples here. For the employees, that's what I was saying, the time to learn, to optimize the time to learn. And their main points currently, or main pain points, sorry, this is about search. Maybe you've experienced this with your own companies, but when you are looking for a learning content, even if you do not access to a learning management system, it takes long time because you get tons of suggestions, you don't know what is the relevant for you, and it can be definitely quite a pain. So that's something we would like to address. And also, of course, not only the search, but also the ability to get the most relevant content for you. So personalized approach, that was something mentioned as well during the previous session. And of course, obviously, the famous just-in-time and easy to access. So we believe that with generative AI applied to learning, we can address such challenges for the employees. For the learning and development communities, that's the time to design. And time to design, it's first of all what we call the curation, meaning when I have to design a learning path, I would like to avoid to reinvent the wheel. So I need to know and I need to get an easy way to access to what is existing already that I can reuse. The design and production life cycle, I will explain later on the way we've addressed this, and the obsolescence management. Because when that's something which was also mentioned this morning, when one of the key challenges is about learning is that you have to make sure that you've got the up-to-date contents. And you imagine we've got currently more than 22,000 learning content in our learning management system. So you need to make sure that all these contents are up to date. It's quite a challenge. And for the company, last but not the least, Marie-Julie mentioned this. We are working in the defense and cyber security business. So we need to make sure that we take into account the data sensitivity. And when we train employees, we train them also on own product solutions. So that's something very important. So we cannot consider only LLM accessing to a public cloud, because then we might be at risk. So that's something we have to take into account. And also, we perfectly know that almost each of the employees of the group access to the ChatGPT in order to train themselves. That's obvious. But what we need to do is to propose same kind of service to them, but with also relevant learning regarding the strategy and priorities of the company. And that's for us definitely a big risk to mitigate, because the more people will access to off-the-shelf LLM, the more they will get proposed contents which might not be aligned with our priorities, ways of working internally. So that's the kind of challenge we face.
Okay. And what did you rely on in order to increase the usage within your learning department?
So we've discussed extensively about user centricity, so I won't come back on this one, even if it's something which is very important for me. The other thing is, and that was something mentioned yesterday, which is the foggy, which is a fear of getting in. And that's something very important for us, and especially about the learning and development community. Because you might get this fear that, oh my gosh, there is this LLM coming, I won't get any more my job because they will do my job. So that's something which is, at the very beginning, when we started this 1 year ago, that was really something expressed by the learning and development community. They were really worried about this. So it's very important to think this in terms of change management and how you get them on board and how you can demonstrate to them that it can bring value to them and enhance what they do instead of getting perceived as a threat. And to do so, and we started this 1 year ago, we organized collective prompt parties. So very, very simple way. We invited all the community worldwide, open to everyone. And then with a scenario with concrete use cases, we split them into subgroups, and they were practicing together with prompting. And that was super useful because then, first of all, they learned from each other. And secondly, that was a very concrete way to demystify. So it was working super well. The other thing is to equip them with a prompt library according to the ADI learning model. I'm not sure that you are familiar with the ADI, but it's the model we use to design learning. And my point here is, what we've observed is that you cannot only propose a prompt library. You have also to think about the way to re-engineer the process, the way you design, because it might impact your traditional way of designing. So that's something interesting also.
What is really funny that Isabelle's team were the pioneer regarding the prompt party, because they started this kind of activities 1 year ago, and we copycat the initiatives in order to send all the group.
So I see that time is running. So another thing I wanted to highlight is the fact that, and I'm sure that you might feel the same, or might have the same feeling, it's going super fast. And almost every day, every week, you've got something new popping up in this LLM world. So our objective here is to leverage internal community and external community in order to make sure that we can stay up to date, and also to be able to step back from all this innovation and think about what would be the best way to leverage it. So to develop the test and learn practice with our internal community and also external community. And we've put in place the meetup. And every 6 weeks, we meet together, people from very different background, and we learn from each other, and that's also a way to stay up to speed without falling in the techno push trap. The other concrete examples I wanted to share, but maybe I do not have enough time, is the hackathon that we've put in place. We've participated to a hackathon in order to address the curation and search use case. As I said, we've got more than 22,000 learning contents in our catalog. And we wanted to develop to take benefit from the knowledge management LLM that the factory has developed in order to help us to be more effective in curation and search. And the big thing is that it's not the public cloud tool. It's something which is secured on the Thales tenant. And the other thing is to create a learning companion. Specialized learning companion. Every time we introduce a new tool, a new process, and we start with, for instance, configuration management system. I know that it's not wow, but we will have to implement this for more than 5,000 employees. And instead of getting the traditional digital learning module that you have to do for hours, we've trained, and we plan to train this LLM, internal one, with all the information about documentation and training about this new configuration management system. And then the employee can access directly to the learning boat both, sorry, in order to get the right information, the right support in terms of learning just in time. So that's another use case that we've developed.
Thank you, Isabelle. Maybe, do we have time for a last word? Okay.
That's the
Time
conclusion.
out.
Time for the conclusion. No worries, no worries. So that's the main takeaways. First of all, we consider that we've not been able to do this kind of project. We shouldn't do this kind of project without strong technical support. And to me, that's very important takeaway. To partner with our technical experts in order mixing the function perspective with the technical perspective in order to do so. Learning by doing. I'm a fan of learning by doing, and I think that to address and to overcome this fear and concerns from end users, that's the best way to do it. Keep pace, I've discussed that already, and the obsession of the end user. Useful innovation, that's absolutely critical, instead of falling in the trap of the techno-driven approach. And I would like just to conclude with one quote from Andy Warhol, the Pope of the pop art, and I like this one. The mystery was gone, but the amazement was just starting. Thank you.
Thank you.